Women in their 30s are winning the baby sweepstakes in America. According to a new study by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the birth rate for teenagers of all ethnic groups declined in 2014, while the birth rate for women aged 20 to 24 was at a record low. Meanwhile, in 2015, the birth rate for women in their early 30s was the highest that it has been since 1964, while the rate for women ages 35 to 39 was the highest since 1962. So what might account for this birth spike among 30-something women? Joining us via Skype from Philadelphia, Dr. Jennifer Caudle, a family physician, medical correspondent, and assistant professor at Rowan University School of Osteopathic Medicine. Doc, so what do we have here? Do we have a situation where folks are getting married later, student loan debt, folks like, I ain't trying to start a family? Well, how do you explain this?
You know, I think it's a lot of those things. I think it's potentially all of them. You know, I think about myself. I'm a family physician, but I'm in my 30s. And honestly, I'm still waiting for my Prince Charming. I put my career first in med school and residency. And I actually have a lot of girlfriends who are in the same boat where they said, look, I want to focus on my career, focus on my education, pay off my student loans, like you just said. I think there are a lot of women that are exercising choice about when they want to have children. And many of them are choosing the 30s and early 40s. And that's why we're seeing this increase in birth rates.
And it was also interesting when you look at this. There was a story that was done, I think by the New York Times, where one woman, she said, I had all of these options, and then all of a sudden she looked up and 38, she was childless.
Yeah. No, that's actually very common. And, you know, I think sometimes as women, you know, women, first of all, are amazing. But I think as women, we want to do so much. We want to have careers. We want to have professions. We want to have a family. We want to have a marriage and a household. And there's so many things that we want to do and that we do very well. But I think sometimes it requires choice. And I know a lot of people, including myself, that sometimes when you put your education and your career and other priorities first, you might find yourself in your late 30s and say, gosh, you look around and you say, wow, you know, I don't have children yet. And in fact, Roland, you know, it's a personal story. You know, I'm in my late 30s. That's exactly where I am. I actually froze my eggs recently, twice actually, so that I could preserve the opportunity to have a child at some point. And that's something a lot of women are doing. And I think that these sort of fertility options may be playing a role in why women are waiting too, because there are more options than we used to have.
Let's go to panel. Allison, this story is obviously resonating among lots of folks. What are folks HelloBeautiful.com saying?
Well, I think, you know, we always celebrate any woman's decision to, you know, choose when she's going to start a family. I think sometimes the obsession with, you know, kind of policing when women are going to become parents is fascinating to me. But, you know, I think a lot of women, yes, you know, the existence of being able to, you know, just have a one-income household and, you know, the man is the breadwinner and the mother is, you know, just having her children in her 20s, that just really doesn't exist in our current society. So I think that that's happening a lot, and I think women are just making choices. They're choosing to have their careers. They're choosing, a lot of women are choosing not to have children at all, and I think we just have to really, you know, be open to the idea that women can make those choices, and whenever they're ready to be a mom, it's better to do it when you're ready than, you know, when you're young and kind of completely unprepared.
Spencer, go ahead.
So I've got a question for the doctor, which is, what does this mean for African-American women specifically, and what's this mean for the black community in terms of socioeconomics and moving forward?
Well, you know, I think there are a lot of implications. I agree with our other panelists who talked about the importance of choice and doing things when it's right. I think the most important thing, and this is not just for African Americans, but really for every race of woman, you know, the most important thing is to have children when we're ready. And we know that when we have children when we're ready, sometimes it just creates a better situation. I'm a fan of women having children in their early 20s if that's what they want to do and that's what they're ready to do. I'm a fan of women having children in their early 40s if that's when it's the right time. I think the implications are not only individual, but I think they're also widespread. I think the biggest thing is just understanding that there are more choices now, that there are more options for women now, and women are really exercising the right to really make the best choice for them, and that's what's most important.
Sue?
Well, I think what's great, I agree with everyone, is that choice and the fact that when you have children later, I find, especially with my friends, that that allows both parents to be more involved, because you don't have that situation of inequality where the man happens to be the breadwinner and the woman has to, raise a child. They're both further along in their careers, and both men and women need to, take time away from the workplace, and there has to be equality there. I mean, that's how we're going to bring up equality of pay. It's not legislating into it, but it's bringing men more into the home and taking equal share of raising. I think when men and women are in their 30s and 40s, I think that happens to work out a lot better.
But Allison, one of the things that we're seeing when it comes to these studies is that for a lot of women, they're saying, look, if I want to have a child, I have a child. I don't necessarily need to be married to do so. And so that's also what's driving this particular study.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's, completely old-fashioned to assume that the only way a woman can have a child is if she's married. So I completely agree on that front. The other interesting thing is, this idea that it's somehow going to affect the African-American community. People are always so quick to blame any problem on black women, and, maybe black women are waiting later to have their children, and that is somehow indicative of a larger problem or putting our community in danger, which I think is a ridiculous assertion. I think people should have children when they're ready and when they make the decision. And I think everyone should stay out of other people's bodies.
Greg, real quick.
I was going to say, let's not lose sight of what Spencer has raised. This economic class question is a very important thing. That's what determines choice. If you go deeper down in the class structure, I wonder how this plays out in terms of birth rate. If you go down to the folks who are earning the least, who have the least options, is their birth rate also declining? A lot of times people make choices not because of their desire, but because of their economic and social circumstances, particularly our people.
Absolutely. All right, Dr. Caudle, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.